that doesn't mean that, okay, this is like not malicious. You need to see what kind of arguments were passed to that cmd.exe and what it did, because this can be used to kind of, let's say, execute multiple files on the host. Okay. Similarly, there are multiple other details over here. Okay. So one of the thing is, let's say, event viewer.exe. Okay. How it can be used. So this can be actually used for USC bypass. Okay. So USC bypass, what I mean is that, if you might remember, whenever you execute certain software on the Windows, sometimes, often you get a pop-up telling that, do you want to run that software in admin with admin privilege, and it give you a button which says that something like that. Like if I just go USC Windows, so this is like, if you already know, like this is some kind of pop-up that you get when you execute any kind of system, any kind of software. Sometimes the Windows will give you a pop-up telling that, do you want to run that software or not? Okay, yes or no. So if you press yes, so that software might run with admin privilege. Okay, so let's say you have a malware which you want to execute with the admin privilege, okay, as an attacker. But the thing is that when it executes, thing is that it will actually give you this pop-up. Okay, and this might actually inform the user who is using the system that there is something suspicious happening on its system, okay, on his or her system. So now to evade this protection of the Windows, where let's say the Windows actually asks the user to press yes or no. As an attacker, I would want that, okay, this pop-up doesn't shows up, and even though, and the user is not allowed to kind of decide if they want to execute or not, it auto execute with admin privilege. So how you can do that? There are different ways to kind of, so when you try to bypass this mechanism, this is called as USC bypass. Okay. Now, thing is that how you can do that without any malware. So you can actually use this software, even viewer.exe, which is already installed on the Windows host, and you can use that to do the USC bypass. Okay. So it says that use case is execute a binary or a script without a USC prompt. Okay. So here are also some examples how that thing was, like how you can use this event viewer.exe to kind of execute a malware with admin privilege without Microsoft showing up that screen on the host, okay, to the user. So you can actually do that using the event viewer. So thing is that, what I mean is that you should kind of what you do is that you try to visit this URL and try to get a little bit idea, okay, what are the different kind of softwares that are like already existing on the host, which can help malware author to kind of achieve nefarious activity, and how I can kind of detect that. Okay. So the last example maybe I can share is like the Microsoft Edge tool. Okay. So this is the browser of the tool. This is the browser. But if you just say, if the malware author, let's say, wants to download any files on the internet, and if the malware author execute this kind of command, let's say msh.exe and then the URL. So this exe will actually, what it will do is that it will actually download the file, okay, for the attacker on the system. And even like it has certain other parameters like headless, for example. So what this will do is that it will not even, like, if you execute this, so this ms.x.exe will actually download this file on the host without even opening a browser on the host. It will do everything in the background. Okay. So this is very important to know. Like if you see that, okay, there has been any execution of this msh.exe, thing is that you need to kind of check what arguments were passed to this and what activity this all system did. Because just by saying that, okay, msh.exe is like signed binary of Windows, it doesn't mean that it can't be used for malicious purpose. It can be used for malicious purpose, depending upon the scenario. So you always need to kind of figure out what kind of arguments were passed to that. And when we will be kind of looking at the timeline analysis, you'll be able to see that, okay, you can actually kind of, let's say, you will actually have this kind of information in the timeline that you have prepared for any kind of system. So we'll look at that in much more detail. Okay. So for now, thing is that using this, I'll say is that visit this website and go through all the, yeah, go on. Any questions? And any questions, guys? Okay. So I understand like there's no question. So what? So what we're going to do now is, let me just give me 1 second. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we will kind of looking at, let's say the lab part, the lab port scanner part, and then we'll try to again kind of cover the theory part. So I hope this was kind of, this website is kind of interesting for you guys, and I'll definitely want you guys to kind of have a look at that. So what I will do is I'll just take 2 minutes break, and then we'll start with the lab, which is the port scanner. Okay. So in the meantime, I'll just quickly start the virtual box, and so I'll just be back with 2 minutes. Okay, guys. So give me 1 second. I'll just start the virtual box. So to get warmed up in the meantime. Okay, so give me 2 minutes. I'll come back. So okay, so let's quickly resume our discussion. So what we want to see is like how we can implement our own, let's say, a code scanner. Okay, so we'll kind of try to see that now. And give me 1 second. So we'll just go over here, and this is the kind of like a script which I like to kind of. I hope like I haven't tested this a bit more, but I think this should work. So just give me 1 second, guys.